welcome to Looking for Geeks post PAX 2018 wrap-up. I'm Kane.
And I'm Nosy, and you have no idea how much trouble we've gone to make this video. We've had audio issues, camera issues, lighting issues.
It's been an ordeal, but we're here, we're back, we're going to make this work.
Cat issues. he's not used to us filming in the apartment, so you may get to hear Georgie again, if not see him jump on Kane.
It's happened before.
It happened earlier.
And during the wrestling video. Oh boy.
So, PAX 2018.
It was big.
But to me, it felt less packed than it has in the past.
Yeah, that's true. Monday didn't sell out, so it definitely was not as big as it has been.
Yeah, it's the first PAX West that we've gone to in how long? 8 years?
8 or 9 years. It hasn't sold out.
Yeah, it was funny because a lot of our friends were like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get tickets. And we were like, Monday's still available? And then during the con, we were like, Monday's still available? And then there were friends literally like texting with me. And I was like, no, literally right now on Monday, this morning, I'm at PAX and there are still tickets available.
You can just show up the door and get a ticket.
Yeah, and that hasn't happened since... Actually, I think that hasn't happened since the first year we went.
Has it been that long? Wow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. I think it means we've hit maximum PAX since there's, 5, 6 now? It's big.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
We're PAX West, which... we're PAX Prime. I'm sorry. PAX Prime! And then there's Board Game PAX, which is called PAX Unplugged.
Oh, yes. PAX Unplugged.
Yes. And then there's PAX South, which happens in Texas. PAX East, which is in Boston. PAX Australia. And are they still talking about doing one in Europe?
I think that's next year now.
Oh, wow.
I believe. I'm not positive on that, though. I have to double check.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually start doing one in Canada. Canada!
PAX Greater North. Great White North? I don't know.
No. No.
Maple Edition.
Maple. Ooh. I would go to PAX Maple Edition. Just because, we have a lot of friends there. Maybe it has finally hit maximum saturation.
Max PAX.
No. Maybe? Oh, I don't know. Max PAX. Oh, okay, that's a thing now. Hashtag Max PAX. This year, it felt way less packed for me in the main hall and also just around because the campus was just as huge as it has been in the past, but for some reason this year, I feel like I wasn't tripping over people. I wasn't really bumping into people that much. It didn't feel like New York City trying to cross the street to get to the Cheesecake Factory.
If you're trying to have lunch, there were spots to sit. There were spots to stand.
Yeah, and waits were never more than 30 or 45 minutes.
Yeah, for most things. I mean, you still had the big games that were the multi-hour in line or...
Oh, I meant lunch.
Oh, yeah, lunch was... lunch was no problem, surprisingly.
Yeah.
In past years, there was actually... I remember Subway had this thing where they had, the pre-made sandwiches. Here's the sandwiches you can have, otherwise you're going to be here for an hour. This year, not a big deal. I think everybody was... It was better organized, and I think just better planned out, so everything just kind of flowed better.
It was very prepared, and the expo hall itself actually has several restaurants within it, and they even seemed better staffed in past years.
Yeah, they were definitely much more ready.
Yeah, than in past years, not better staffed in past years. You get what I mean. Anywho, yeah. So... I don't know why, but it felt like there was a lot of open space in the hall. It felt almost like some people didn't show up, as in booths, and some booths were kind of strange. Like, they would be just completely open with chairs or...
Yeah, there was a lot of, it seemed like extra seating.
Yeah. But it didn't seem like some of the big producers came with their full A game or their full presentations like they do.
Yeah, it was definitely more sparse in the hall. For one, there were a lot of off-site things like Bethesda. they had a party the night before. Not the night before, but the first night of, at the Hard Rock Cafe down the street.
Bethesda actually didn't have a booth this year. They were represented in part and parcel by different booths. Like Microsoft had Fallout 76 at it. So if you went to the Microsoft booth, they had a big walled off area where you could get a peek at Fallout 76. Now, there were other booths that had Bethesda properties at them, but there was no representation in the convention proper for Bethesda. But where was their party?
Their party was at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, yeah?
So, and apparently it was one of those things where if you knew, you knew. I guess they announced it on their official forums.
Yeah.
So if you're a big fan, you had a much higher chance of getting in because only the fans that really follow the company closely would know.
I did see it mentioned on Twitter, but it was just out of sight, out of mind for the most part for me. And I am kind of a Bethesda stalker, so I lived in Bethesda. They're my home team. I mean, I grew up there, so it was kind of weird not having them at the convention, even though they were technically at the convention. Yeah. There were some booths that took up a disproportionate amount of the convention center.
Facebook.
What was that, Maple Story?
Maple Story. Yeah, that one's...
Speaking of PAX Maple, that's what they should have called it this year, was PAX Maple.
Maple Story had 2 new games. They had the Maple Story, I think it's called Maple Story M, which is the mobile version, and then Maple Story 2, which is their sequel to their big selling game. Man, that came out 20 years ago? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And they were huge. I mean, they were kind of in the indie area, but they're not really indie at this point, I don't think.
And then, believe it or not, Facebook had a gigantic booth.
Yeah, that Facebook booth was crazy. And that was kind of part of the whole thing this year, where there's a big focus on streaming.
Yeah, streaming and the Oculus Rift, right?
Yes, it was Facebook streaming, and they did have several sections with the Oculus Rift. They were kind of off to the side.
Yeah. I don't do VR at conventions. That's how you get pink eye.
Pink eye.
And I mean, I'm not like a huge germaphobe or anything. I did get swine flu in the big PAX swine flu epidemic a few years ago.
Yeah, that was not fun.
I wash my hands. I use hand sanitizer when I can't wash my hands, but pretty much I just go and out of my way to wash my hands as much as possible. But I don't do pink eye.
Yeah, a couple of years back, there actually was a pink eye outbreak because of the VR headsets not being cleaned properly. So be careful around those.
I mean, I'm already paranoid enough that somebody's going to give me lice. Like, at the conventions from the headsets.
You never know.
But this year, I do have to say, I was impressed because I saw many people use bleach products and wipes and stuff to disinfect the headsets.
Yeah, those bleach hand wipes, the handy wipes. Yeah, that was good job. That was really smart.
Yeah.
A really great idea. Keep people from getting cross-contaminated.
Definitely. And so that was actually different this year. That I actually saw people, thank you. I don't want lice. That is like the last thing in the world. I had it once and totally had a moment of, Mom, can we just shave my head? Because I had hair down to my butt. So it took like 2 or 3 of the packets.
Oof.
Yeah, it was long. My mom kept me out of school because it took, I think, 4 hours.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a bad infestation. It's just my hair was so long.
So thank you. Thank you for keeping PAX clean.
Yes. I mean, my hair is still pretty long. This would be torture. And let's not even go into Mr. Curly Hair over here. So other things that we have were eBay had a presence this year.
That was odd. And they had a guest artist there. It was one of the guys from Skin Wars, Dutch.
He's kind of like, he sticks out. He always has brightly colored hair, and he's kind of like a Super Saiyan. So it's like this tall.
He's like Guy Fieri if he was a Super Saiyan instead of a cook.
And cool. I love Guy Fieri, though. I mean, like, but this guy paints naked people with paint.
And Dutch takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, he's ripped, too.
And he was really nice. Yeah, I have a bad habit of meeting famous people that I fangirl over, and then they're douchebags to me. Just bleep that out. Well, whatever. So, with the exception of Yahtzee.
Yeah, that was a great panel too, by the way.
Yeah, but we'll go more into that in panels. But I actually ran into him afterwards, and he's super polite. I love you. Not in a creepy way. I'm so sorry. So, other things, but the eBay booth was in particular really interesting because they had a focus on consoles and people who actually collect vintage gaming. And it seemed almost like they were flirting with their own gaming products.
Yeah, they were promoting a lot of, the reselling, and that eBay is not just for used things as well. So that was interesting. They're giving out a coupon. They were doing drawings for high-end electronics and consoles.
They gave away a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. And they also had, so what Dutch was doing there was you could get your gamer tag hand-painted onto a shirt. You bought the shirt, you went up, and he would do one of his nice painted airbrush jobs on it.
Yeah, those are pretty impressive, too.
Unfortunately, I couldn't remember my gamer tag, and I was like,
oh.
What do I do? Oh, well, I'll just watch from over here.
It was still cool.
Yeah. Their booth was a touch too close to the tournament area, though. I'm not sure I like having the tournament arena in the main hall.
Yeah, the PAX Arena, they did have it there last year, but it was bigger and louder this year for sure.
Yeah, so while we were over there, we were waiting for one of the giveaway raffles, and my ears threatened to bleed. I'm a musician, and I am around loud volume all the time. You're a drummer.
Oh, yeah. And that was loud. That was
so loud.
Legit loud.
And they weren't even doing anything at this moment. This was in between matches, and when they were doing this, and it was just the ambient music playing on the stage.
Yeah, they were playing promo videos like for TV shows and video games and whatnot. And but yeah, it was very distracting. I mean, PAX has always been pretty loud, but they took that to a whole new level because they were filming it too. So.
Yeah, they were live streaming it, and that brings us to our next point: is that there was a real focus on streaming, which is pretty much the new thing with gaming and the internet usage.
Yeah, gaming, esports, streaming, it all kind of leads into what's happening in the whole game community.
Yeah, they had Mixer, Discord, Twitch, and Facebook streaming as a presence there. They all had panels in various places. And it was just nice because they all got along. We'll go more into that in panels too. But they were there really to work together in the community to bring people in who haven't previously streamed and to help people who are streaming build their numbers and work on content, basically.
Yeah, it was pretty helpful. It was nice to have people there that really knew how the system worked.
Yeah, and how gamers enjoy gaming and interacting with other gamers. So that was interesting. It's almost like we're moving to the next level. Like in a few years, we'll have our nice little holographic interfaces and Star Wars. And, maybe a holodeck or two that we could rent.
Oh, if only.
Oh, I know. But wouldn't it be cool if you could do holodeck and stream it?
Wow. That would take TV production to a whole different world.
What's that movie? Videodrome. Anyway, look it up. Videodrome, 1980s movie. Debbie Harry's in it. Fantastic science fiction kind of slip through the cracks. Great movie.
Classic.
And so that brings us to too much emphasis on PAX XP. Everybody experiences conventions in a different way. And I really go for the presenters. I go for the people who've come from out of town, who are there to show me the stuff that I'm going to see come out in the next year. Mostly Christmas. But still, I'm there to see what I'm going to look forward to in the next year, maybe 2 or 3, depending on what they're developing and the new engines and graphics.
For sure. Yeah, you go there you get a preview of what's coming up. I mean, some of it's coming out immediately, but most of it, it's 3 to 12 months out.
Yeah. PAX, though, has always had these weird treasure hunts. And a couple years it was sponsored by Magic, and a couple years it was sponsored by other people. And then there's the Penny Arcade thing where you can hunt down particular people who have Penny Arcade pins.
And do the whole trading thing.
But then now there's PAX XP.
Which, it's been a thing for a while. But this year, PAX XP was digital.
Yeah, and so they really pushed it a little too hard for me. There were lines and congestion and people in the way.
That was really strange. I mean, people were literally standing in line to swipe their badge at this little kiosk to unlock a piece of story, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually kind of gave up because the whole PAX XP thing on my phone didn't even work for the first half of the first day.
Yeah, and there were some of the booths that were failing, and I just kind of lost interest after a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they may have had a good idea, but I think they may have went about it in kind of the wrong way. So hopefully that can be fixed in the future.
And I feel like there was too much of an emphasis on it as not just like a fun thing you can do to add to your con experience. It was almost sold as this is the entire experience this year.
Yeah.
Go to these places, do these things.
Big emphasis on it. It was unusual for sure.
That, and for me, I'm not much of a merch hound. Like, I will pay you money for good stuff. I don't like having to go through an entire like production booth
scavenger hunt
like thing to get a pin or something like that. If I'm standing in line, it's usually because I want to play one particular game. And if I'm standing in line, I don't want to have to go through all those other games. And if there is some kind of bells and whistles at the end, great. But I really just don't care unless it's something ridiculous like this freaking hat. Look at this thing.
It's amazing.
But I made him do it.
Which was fine. It was for a game I wanted to play anyway, because Valkyria Chronicles is awesome.
And it was at the Sega booth, and they didn't make him play anything else to get it.
Nope. Just stand in line, play Valkyria Chronicles, which I wanted to play anyway, so I didn't lose anything.
Yeah. And Dauntless gave me a bad-ass patch just for standing in line for an excessive amount of time.
See, that's a cool way to do it.
If really
you're gonna make people wait, at least give them a little reason to stick around.
I mean, I was going to stay in that line anyway. I love Dauntless. But it was really cool that they gave me the patch. And then I got another one after playing the demo as well. So I can put one on both arms. I was like, do I tell them? Nah. I earned this by staying an hour in line and letting the press cut in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So, that's a thing. So, on to merch. Speaking of stuff that I purchased this year. Penny Arcade went out of their way. Their merch booths were off the hook.
Yeah, they had their merch booth was in a separate part of the convention.
Yeah.
Their big one. I mean, they had the little one on site outside the expo hall, but their big one was really big.
Yeah, their big one was huge. And I didn't even go to that one because the one that was at the Sheridan, which was their small one, it was 2 rooms. And they had so much stuff, and it was all the things that were on my list. They had a couple of hoodies this year. Normally they have one. This year they did these special edition ones. This is the Luna hoodie. It's a light hoodie, and you guys went the right way because thumb holes, 2 thumbs up for this thumb hole. And the products that are specifically marketed to women this year are really cool. This is a baseball style shirt, and on the back it says Dungeon Mistress. Alright. You hit it out of the park with that one. I could not walk out of that room without that. I love those. And also, I know this wasn't PAX Unplugged, but the amount of D&D stuff they had was amazing. Look at that. So cool. If you steal that from me, I'd understand.
It is pretty awesome.
They also had a number of tank tops and shirts that were kind of ironic, which I appreciated. Like this one, stream like nobody is watching. Because a lot of the time when you start, no one is.
Like, share, and subscribe.
They also had some shirts that just generically said video game.
That was
board game.
It's so funny. It's like, I mean, I see what you're doing. I appreciate it, but that's weird.
I thought it was really funny.
It is pretty clever.
Yeah. So, way to go. Now, I'm going to pull out a couple pins. Do you see all these? These are
so
all the pins. Some of them I got just by stopping at booths. Some by purchasing. I spent a lot of money at PAX. I just... That's really the way to get me involved in your game. Let me spend money, okay? I hate waiting in lines and having to jump through hoops. But these pins, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, just to, like, point out a couple in particular, Slime Rancher. Got this.
Tabby Slime.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Holy smokes. This, oh, there we go. I got the glare off of him. This is Conker. Conker's Bad Fur Day. So many swear words. And you know what? It's a bard.
Bardy.
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 Bardy. I have no idea what you're saying. I love this guy. I couldn't believe that there was a Conker's Bad Fur Day pin.
That's pretty amazing.
And then this here, this is from Chris Straub. He is the Channel Zero guy. Oh, there we go. I finally got the glare off so you can see it properly. Isn't that cute? And every year he does one that incorporates some kind of a skeleton kitty. And being a goth girl, good grief, I had to buy it.
It's adorable.
It is adorable. Oh, look at this thing. Spin it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a Think Geek one that's a D20 and this is a D10. So eventually I'm going to have so many of these that I won't ever have to carry dice with me. Oh, I still will.
Just have your dice sash. Like Chewbacca.
Like a Girl Scout. I bought this pin. I was going to buy it anyway, but then they gave me a plushie. Mm-hmm.
That was
Salt. From the...
That's Salt and Sanctuary.
Yes, Ska Studios, who does Dishwasher Smiles and the Vampire Game. Oh my god, we're horrible. Salt and Sanctuary.
Yeah, that one's amazing. Yeah, the plushie is from the other one, the Dishwasher.
Yes. Gothic Sensibilities. That's what they should have really called their company. All their games are very dark, are lovely, violent, bloody, beautiful, artistic, good storytelling, and local to Washington. So this is the merch pin that you get when you buy an obnoxious amount of shirts and stuff. And it's adorable.
You're helping other people get stuff too, though, so it wasn't like, we got a lot of stuff, but not that much stuff.
The secret squirrel one that I got is kind of cool because it's actually not a PAX pin. This is a Gen Con pin from Lightseekers.
What? Gen Con?
I didn't get to go this year. I love Gen Con. I need to go back. I got to work it like 2 years ago, and now I'm hooked. So, but I would also just like to go sometime and experience it because the con, unlike other conventions, kind of shuts down at night, and then everything else is parties thrown by people, parties in rooms, a lot of Pokemon Go, drinking. There's a lot of drinking.
It's a geek convention. There's always drinking.
I had my first Moscow Mule in Indiana. But enough about Gen Con, because this is about PAX. So the rest of these pins here are pins that I got at booths. Stone Story. We'll talk about that in the game section. And I've got, oh my gosh, Necro Barista had a really cool pin. The people who are producing the Attack on Titan mobile game gave me this adorable kitty pin. Bindi. I'm just gonna...
The spooky.
Here we go. If we put this over your head. Then...
Oh god, now I'm Mendy.
I know! This was given to me by one of the enforcers, just like on an... Oh, no, this was given to me by an enforcer in Battle Royale Hall.
Uh-huh.
And we bought a bunch of these hilarious pins that are, just go online. You can get them from We Love Fine. Oh, the oatmeal one. You should open this one.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for some oatmeal? It's pretty amazing.
They were blind bags, so you have no idea what's in them. Nikola Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
For the win. Shows them this one because it's not safe for work.
Children, people with weak hearts, avert your eyes.
Cat lovers.
Oh, bikini cat. So sexy. Oh, dance for us, bikini cat.
Oh, and I have to give a lovely I love you shout out to the Toronto Gamers for producing
For all your Pam needs.
Oh my god, Archer. Holy shit, Snacks, Archer. You're gonna have to bleep that one.
Nah.
Every day, the Shovel Knight booth was giving away 2 pins, and I've got most of them, so there's Shovel Knight.
Yay.
This is from the Cat Robot booth. What was that game called? Robot Cat?
I don't
Cat
remember
Robot?
that one.
Doesn't matter. There's a cat on it.
So, of course, it came out.
There's one more in here I have to show you. I just gotta find it. But in the meantime, why don't you show them these? These are also from the Toronto Gamers.
Oh, yes. We have a lovely, lovely Animal Crossing. As well as
Rainbow Crossing.
Yes, Rainbow Animal Crossing. And one of our personal favorites, Splatoon.
I play so much Splatoon.
She plays so much Splatoon, we had to get a second Switch.
Oh, do you want to talk about that? So, this is the one that I was digging for. It says Sphinx. I know it's probably backwards, but this was given to me by an enforcer that was going down the escalator away from the Sphinx Theater and was just super cool and was like, would you like a pin? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Why would I not want a Sphinx pin?
I know, it was for the Sphinx Theater, and it's just really, really cool. It's got that heart, and it's kind of got like a tie-dyed effect to it.
Yeah.
Just thank you so much. You made it on the internet. You are now a star. All right. So, to wrap it up, though, we're looking for geeks.
That was wrap up number 1. We got a few more parts coming, letting you know all about what happened at PAX.
Hi.
Welcome to Looking for Geeks post PAX.
PAX?